Well, this is awkward. So I've got the S21 FE here in my hand, and I'm actually going to tell you something that's going to blow your mind. I'm going to recommend it. And a lot of stuff has changed since this phone came out because I was very tempted in my video to call it the S21 FU edition, very much like the Tab S7 FE, also the FU edition. So this phone started out and it came out right before the S22. The pricing was wrong and it got undercut right out of the gate by the Pixel 6, and there was just some very curious decisions that they made. And now you can get it from Best Buy for $549 without even having to activate it. Before it was, you could save money if you activated, but now, I don't know if this is permanent, but the price drop is pretty good if you want to go pick it up there. Also, Samsung still has good deals on it. At $549, this is probably about the best phone for most people out on the market right now. And it's hard to go wrong. 6.4-inch display. It's got the AMOLED that everybody likes, full HD plus. It's a gorgeous screen. It's got the Snapdragon 888. It's got the triple camera array set up on the back. 5G. You got a minimum 128 gigabytes of storage. It's not like the iPhone SE 2022 that has 64 gigabytes. 128 you can kind of do something with. Of course, that's 6 gigs of RAM. You might want to bump that up. But I got the base model and I don't have any problems with it. I very much enjoyed the experience with this phone and I wanted to test it out. I bought it. I paid for it with my hard-earned money, just like I do with almost every single other phone. So when this one first came out, I was very skeptical about it because I thought straight out of the gate it needed to be $599 to compete with the Pixel 6. But typical Samsung, I said this in my original videos, they're going to drop the price quickly. And before, they had some good deals where you could get it over at Best Buy and you could get it for $499 with the activation. But not everybody wants to activate a phone. You don't want to activate it and put it on your network. If you can get it unlocked though, that's a good deal. And unlocked at $549 is pretty solid. And this phone right here, with what you get, the power, the performance, the sophistication, the beautiful screen, the 5G, the 4 years of operating system updates, and the 5 years of security patches, it's really hard to compete with that. It really is. So yeah, now I kind of have this phone in the recommend category, and it's hard not to, because here's the thing. The other phone it was competing with was the S22, and the S22 I think it doesn't really compete with well, not because of the S21 FE, but because the S22, I don't think you should buy it. I think you'd be much happier with this because you get a 5,000 milliamp battery instead of a 3,700 milliamp battery. You get the same amount of warranty, the same amount of updates, the same amount of software security patches for 5 years. You still get very good cameras. They're not as good as you get with the S22, but they're very good. And you still also, you get 120 hertz refresh rate. So you get the nice smooth scrolling effect on the screen. You get the fingerprint sensor that's under the screen. You get the facial recognition technology. You get basically everything you could want in this phone, and now it's at a good price. Before, it was not at a good price. I wasn't crazy about it at $699 because I'd much rather just go get a Pixel for $599. Yes, you get the extra camera on this one, but the Pixel cameras I think are still, they're a little bit better than this, and I think most people would agree with me in that department. But then you look at it at $549, it undercuts the Pixel. The software reliability issues, the updates, the patches have not been nearly as horrendous when it comes to Samsung versus Google with the Pixel phone. So if you're in the market to get a phone, I would say get this. If you don't want to spend the money and you don't want to get an S22 Ultra, if you don't want to get an iPhone, if you want something that's going to give you flagship performance, you're going to get all the niceties, all the great stuff of One UI, the Samsung warranty, the Samsung everything experience essentially, this is kind of it. And I don't normally go out of my way to make videos telling people, hey, you should pick this phone, you should not pick that phone. But things have kind of changed in the landscape on the S21 FE because I felt very strongly against this phone when it first came out. Not because of the performance, not because of the hardware, but because of the marketing, the timing, and the price. Like, why would you bring this out at $699 basically a week or two before the S22 launches at $799? And then, of course, we know Samsung's going to drop the price, and they've already got competitive deals lots of places. So at $549, this right here, I got to say, is probably going to make a lot of people happy. And then it's got a flat screen on it. It's not the curved edge display. This one basically goes edge to edge, and it looks gorgeous. Like, look at that. It's basically edge to edge all the way around the phone, and it has very, very, very minimum bezels. The brightness is good. It's got beautiful HDR content, and You get the fingerprint sensor as well. This one's an optical. It's not the ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. I wish it was. It's not, which of course that's not the end of the world. But I wanted to talk about this because a lot of people don't have this phone on their radar anymore. Everyone else, as soon as the S22 came out, it's like, okay, the S22 is all that exists, especially the Ultra. And the Ultra is great. But how many people want to go out and buy a $1,200 phone? Not a lot. Now, is it the nicest? It's people, I think, get lost in this. Most people aren't buying $1,200 phones. If we applied the same logic to flagship smartphones in the car world, then everybody would be out driving Mercedes or a BMW, not driving a Toyota and not driving a Volkswagen. And the thing is mostly Toyotas and Volkswagens and Chevys are what drive America. So if you look around the landscape, this right here makes a lot more sense for a lot of people. They've got good carrier deals. They've always got good trade-in specials. So most people want a good experience with longevity, with something that's going to be supported for a long time and give you good experience and good battery life. They want a phone that's going to last all day. This is it, right here in a nutshell, the S21 FE. And I think it's a good phone. Again, I never said the phone was going to be bad from the get-go, and some people try to call me out on this. I'm like, no, I don't say phones are bad before they come out. I said the timing was bad, the price was bad, the marketing was bad because of how they did everything. But now that's here, now that you can get it for $549 and then trade in some stuff, Best Buy has good trade-in deals on things too. I recently traded a phone in. Actually, I traded one when I got this. So there are ways you can make it even more cheap. And I've had a lot of people that have come back to me and said, hey, I got this deal. I got that deal. I'm super happy with it. And I don't really have any complaints about this phone. I think it's a solid package. I think the 6.4-inch screen is ideal. It is the most enjoyable screen size for me because it's not too small like the 6.1, but it's not ginormous like the 6.8 that you get on the S22 Ultra. So this won't break the bank. The price is way lower, already $150 lower than when it came out 2 months ago. Very competitive, very reliable, and the brand strength. It's a Samsung phone, and of course the 5G. So now I'm going to say, if you're interested or you're looking at something around the $500 price point, you might want to consider this. And also there's a plethora of accessories you can get on Amazon, cases, screen protectors, all that good stuff. So yeah, the S21 FE. Really interesting talking about it now, but I think that Samsung, other than they launched this one bad. Like they started this off on a really bad foot, and now that the price has dropped $150, look, when you talk about all the flagship component stuff that's in here, it's got the Snapdragon 888, which is the same processor as the flagship processors of last year, and we don't have to walk into this uncharted territory of the Snapdragon 8 Generation 1, which I think the jury's still out on that one, but it's already had some significant throttling issues with Samsung, with the way that they've handled the way the software optimizes and runs the hardware. So curious to see how that impacts that phone now. But the Snapdragon 888, solid, reliable, and it's got tons of power. You can play your AAA title games on here. You can enjoy the 120 Hz refresh rate. It's a solid phone, and I guess that's all I got to say about it. I would different tone than when I first talked about this phone, but now in a very, very short time, they have turned that all the way around and come back with the pricing drop by $150 unlocked on Best Buy. I mean, that's a good deal. And also they've got carrier incentives and Samsung incentives and all that. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments about the S21 FE, please head down in the comment section. I will get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, if you found it helpful, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.